Hey, how you doing? Hope you all are doing great. As you've seen in the thumbnail, in this video, we're going to see what if Naruto got into harem with Zelda. This is part 3, and before getting into video, I request you to check the author of this fanfic and show some love and support. Name of the story is The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess Tremor 230 style by Tremor 230. Do check it. All details in description. And if you want next part of this series, please leave a like, share, and consider subscribe. Let's get into the video. Also check out Patreon for uncensored spicy content. Link in description. The group of young men and women formerly friends of the escaped Jinchuriki were sitting quietly in the closed restaurant for a quiet meeting between friends, all in memory of dear old times when they were just young genin. Who asked for the pork? Chuji asked from the kitchen, being the only one with the permission to touch anything in there. I have. Thank you, Sakura said with a sigh. No news yet? Tenten asked. No. Our dear blonde knows how to stay hidden no matter the fact that with all the chakra he now possedes, every half-ass censor should have found him. The pink-haired girl answered. He was defined unpredictable for a reason. He does what people don't think he will be able to. Shino said. In the meantime, Tsunade-sama is always on the verge of snapping and hunt him down herself. Ino said with a sigh as their big-boned friend joined the discussion. I think you people are overreacting. Naruto will be fine. Once the banishment expires and he is calmed down, he will come back, probably not with a smile, but he will return. This is his home, and he knows that. Chuji said with a smile. Then you do not know him. I saw his eyes. He won't come back, not even to destroy us, should he someday go mad. Sasuke said, calmly drinking from a cup and ignoring the assorted glares he received from his words. Ignoring your negative, and yes, unyouthful and all that comment, I believe that while he may hate us now, someday our paths will cross again, whatever he likes it or not. Lee said, I would love to believe you. Sasuke muttered, looking away with distant eyes. The group decided to ignore the newly arrived Hinata as she sat at their group of tables with a depressed air above her. Still in denial? Ino muttered to Sakura, ask her, and she will tell you that he will come back tomorrow. It's a lost cause. She is trying to substitute him with Kiba, but even Dogboy knows that it would be a lost battle. The other answered, Oi, why so gloomy? I brought a movie. Kiba yelled as he entered the restaurant with a wide smirk. A movie? Shikamaru asked with a loud yawn, moving his head from the table just enough for Chuji to put a plate of finely cut meat in front of him. Yup, something to spice things up, the Inuzuka boy said proudly, ignoring Akamaru's defeated whine behind him. I smell porn, you pervert, Ino said with narrowed eyes. It's not porn. It's a wonderful movie with deep plot, intense romance, and scenes of nudity with hardcore intercourse between two consensual, or not, depending on the necessities of the plot, adults. Kiba answered smiling. Then it is porn, Sakura said with a glare. Yes, but with plot, the dog user pointed out. So an Ika Ika one? Sai asked. Nope, even better. The very last one of the Dark Lover series. I had to bend over backwards to get a copy. Come on, let's watch it. It's the last film of the Jackhammer, before he disappeared from the scenes. Kiba asked with a whine. The Jackhammer? Lee asked, curious. No one knows his real name. His other stage name is Thundercock Pussy Smasher, the greatest destroyer of womanhoods and unforgiving pounder of girls of any porn movie past, present, and future. And 6 times winner of the Apocalyptic Award for the Best Actor and Performer in this genre. He also has the world record for the longest orgasm induced to a woman. Kiba answered. You know a disturbingly lot about him, Chuji said with raised eyebrows. Considering that any men worth his 2 cents wish to have an equipment like his, and everyone is actually very afraid to have their woman meet him? Yes, I know a lot about him, the Inuzuka boy answered. You know what? Whatever. Just put it in the TV and press play, Tenten said with an huff. What? Niji yelled with wide eyes. He won't stop pestering us otherwise. And maybe Hinata will find a new guy to fawn on. Ino answered with a teasing smile. No one is manlier than my Naruto-kun. Hinata answered with a furious glare. Whatever. Here it is, my precious. They say that Princess Koyuki actually sobbed and cried when the Jackhammer announced this being his last movie. She literally begged him to reconsider, or at least to keep paying her a visit from time to time. Kiba said while taking the DVD out of the box with a worshipful expression. Damn, he must be really good. Shikamaru muttered, all of them watching as the Inuzuka boys started the movie. Are we really watching a porn together? Sasuke asked in disbelief. SSSSSH. It actually has a good plot, Sakura said while silencing the boy. When the first scene of sex started, the boys present went wide-eyed at the prowess, power, ferocity, and measures of the male lead, enraptured in both awe, jealousy, and disbelief. The girls were still surprised, but for a different reason, as their jaw unhinged in shock while Hinata erupted into a desperate wailing of sorrow. Why is Hinata-sama crying? Niji asked without stop, watching Koyuki's character being thrown on the back of a carriage by the masked actor that then started thrusting inside her with brutal power. That's Naruto-kun, wah. The crying Hyuga heiress answered with an howl of desperation. What? The males in the room yelled with bulged-out eyes. She's right. I could recognize that glorious, manly slab of man-meat anywhere. Tenten muttered with a nod and a bit of droll. He used to do those same thing to me too, you know? Ino said with smug pride. To all of us as well, Piggy. To all of us. Tenten answered with a sad tone. Unfortunately for the boys, the girls wanted to watch the movie. The detail about their old friend being the main actor and the details around the girls cheating on them with him kind of ruined the experience for them, though. Meanwhile, Hyrule rode towards Elden. AI. Naruto sneezed loudly while limping his way towards the next light spirit, so to free the area from the Twilight. Bless you. Yadajimai grumbled with a sneer. Still sour about those 3 strange women attacking me? The blonde asked. They raped you. Those 3 bitches passed you around like a bowl of popcorn. The huge vixen answered in rage. Would it help saying that they paralyzed me, and that even you could do nothing to stop them? He asked with a sorry expression. Sigh. Listen, I will excuse you this one time, because as you said we could not defend ourselves from them, but if you dare cheat on me, well, building up chakra in your balls until they explode like an explosive note will be the nicest thing I'll do to you. She answered with narrowed eyes. Oh, I love you when you act all violent and possessive. Naruto answered with a short laugh. Do not laugh. I am serious. And I love you too, Baka, Yadajimai said with a growl, before blushing and sending him a mental slap to the back of his head. Oi, Minna, you there? The former shinobi asked aloud. I'm not coming out. A feeble voice answered, sounding ashamed. Come on, you just had a dream about me. We can talk about it if you want. I'm not angry. He answered with a gentle smile. I don't want to talk about it. The shadowy silhouette of Midna yelled on his face as she finally surfaced from his shadow. Why? The young man asked back. Because it's wrong, and we already talked too much about this. She answered. Why should it being wrong? Because you are of another race? Or is it because I am the human in this thing? Naruto asked. First of all, you being human has no meaning over this. It simply can't be done. End of the story. Midna answered. And that kiss? He asked. An incident. Do not get a headache over it. The imp girl answered with a dismissive wave of her hand and an annoyed expression. Very well. He answered with narrowed eyes. Happy that we reached an ACCUMPHF. Midna was saying with a smirk before the young man grabbed the back of her head to lock his lips to hers, shoving his tongue as deep as he could in her mouth and throat. That was also an incident. Now move or I'll leave you behind. The blonde said before marching forward, leaving behind a shocked Midna frozen in place with her face completely green in embarrassment. Vuvuvait. She yelled while hurrying back inside his shadow. Can I ask you why? Yadajimai asked with an annoyed frown while keeping their conversation out of the imp girl's ears. She is not being honest with herself. She is hiding something and she reminds me of myself when I was just a kid. Naruto admitted, acting overly cheerful to hide your pain. I see what you mean. But what if she ends up loving you? And why a kiss? Yadajimai asked. I don't know. He answered. Sigh. We'll deal with this together. But really, am I not enough for you? The Jubi Fox asked with a pained sigh. Is that one of those questions that don't have a right answer? Ilya was already hard to accept. But the pipsqueak too? You really are testing my patience here. She answered. If you want, I can renounce to the 2 of them. He said with a sad tone. I just want you to be happy. If I have to swallow my pride and let Ilya be around you, then so be it. As for Midna, in the highly unlikely case something does happen, we'll deal with it. There is no reason for us to break our head on a problem that doesn't even exist yet. Yudajimai said. As you wish, Naruto said with a nod. Meanwhile, with Midna, I do not have feelings for him. I have a mission to accomplish, and I can't get attached to him. The small girl muttered to herself. A little pang of pain passed through her chest at those words, but she just swallowed hard and took a deep breath. It wouldn't work between us, so there is no use in getting ideas, especially since I look like this. She muttered while looking at her hands in disgust before clenching both fists as hard as she could. I don't have feelings for him, nor he will ever have for me. Ever. Midna muttered, trying to ignore the stinging sensation in her eyes and the sob bubbling in her throat trying to come out. Real world. Oi, you there? The blonde man. A man yelled while reaching Naruto in a mad run. Yes? The former shinobi asked, looking at the curious man with a red banner strapped to his back. There is a black wall blocking the road ahead. I thought I would deliver a few letters, but it seems impossible as I am the honorable and dependable letter carrier. You can call me the postman, with capitals mind you. The postman said. The postman? Really? Got an embarrassing name or something? Naruto asked. That is confidential. The man replied with his face gaining a tinge of red, as if he will ever admit that his mother called him Zeledius Fastfeed Bretoslavsky. By the way, take this letter and read it at your leisure. The postman said, giving to the blonde a letter with a theatrical bow before departing. Why do I meet all the strange ones? Naruto said with a sigh while pocketing the letter, deciding that he would read it later. A black wall. He was probably referring to the barrier to the Twilight Veil. Yudajimai said, Can you pull me inside this time too, Midna? The blonde asked. That won't be a problem. You will probably turn into a fox once again, so be prepared. The imp girl answered from his shadow. I can deal with that, no problem, he said with a nod and a grin. Once reached the barrier, Midna rose from the terrain to hover in front of the young man, her old smirk already in place and a laugh in her voice. It was much closer than I thought. Remember that until you save the light of Elden from the twilight, you won't be inhuman. Anyway, if you need, I will be with you. Midna said, Thank you, I appreciate that. Naruto said with a gentle smile. Ignoring the painful ache in her chest, the small girl phased through the barrier, disappearing inside the twilight before sending her huge hair-made hand back outside to snatch the young man and drag him to her. I'll never get used to this, the former shinobi said while feeling his body break apart and reform into the big 10-tailed fox shape he was destined to take whenever in the twilight. Once the transformation was completed, Midna gently floated on his back, patting his head with more affection than she intended. That's a good boy. Now, you will need to listen to what I say from now on. Better be prepared when in this situation. Look how lovely this is. The black clouds of twilight are so fetching today. I feel so at ease here. And you still look so good even now, she then said with a sigh of pleasure, the last part barely a whisper she hoped he could not hear. I'm starting to see what you like in the twilight. Monsters aside, it does have a strangely calming feeling to it. It's relaxing, the foxified shinobi answered, pretending to not have heard her whisper. Thank you, now get going. We won't go anywhere if we watch clouds all day, Midna answered, kicking his sides to make him move. Just like with the forest, in the twilight-covered area, there wasn't a single sound, nor Naruto could feel the presence of anything that had not been corrupted by the power covering everything. The few plants there already shifted into the carnivorous version he had seen in the abandoned temple. Wait! Sniff! Sniff! I can smell something, the young man said while sniffing the air. I didn't know foxes could track down smells. Midna said, They are predators too. Tracking their prey with the nose is one of the requisites. This seems like Talo. And the others, they're close, he said in happiness. They must have passed by here not long ago. See if you can follow the traces. I'll see if by sending chakra I can strengthen your nose a little bit more, the huge vixen said from the seal. Thanks, girl. This way, Naruto said, launching himself forward in a fast dash. Grrrr. As on cue to be the most annoying, a shadow beast jumped the fox, grabbing one of his tails to throw him against a near rock before calling two other friends to attack him. You really had to do that? Now I am pissed. Naruto growled while taking an attack stance, 10 tails flowing around in a threatening manner. As the three monsters were about to attack together, the shinobi's shadow seemed to expand to cover those two, briefly paralyzing them in a crackling of red energy. Using the opening offered, the foxified blonde ran forward, tearing off a shadow beast's throat open with a bite on the way to headbutt the second. Once both were down, the shinobi made a short work of the remaining two with his chakra-empowered jaws and beheading them in a shower of black smoky blood. Watching satisfied as the three corpses disappeared immediately after. Thanks, Midna. Think nothing of it. I wanted to help cut the fight short. Even if you could have resolved the thing by yourself, I wanted to help a little. She replied, thank you all the same. Correct me if I am wrong. It's me or the whole bridge is missing? He said before raising a furrowed eyebrow at the hole in place of the bridge. Ah, that's strange, it's gone. I wonder if this is the work of those shadow creatures. Midna said with a thoughtful look. What a pain, did I have to fetch a bridge now? The young man asked with a groan. Let's see if we can find it, or at least a spare. You still got that stuff finding compass, don't you? She answered with a sigh. If you can reach my clothes wherever they go when I transform, it should be in the left pocket. Naruto answered. HNNG. There. Midna said in triumph while recalling both map and compass from whatever subspace anomaly those had ended in. I don't know how, but I saw a whole bridge abandoned in Farron Woods. I'm still wondering how it ended up there. Yadajimai said, and you were about to say this when… exactly? Naruto asked. Oi. It had been by chance that I got a glimpse of that. Never thought it could have been important. The woman said with an huff. Whatever, as long as we can use it. The imp girl said, can you use one of your teleport thing to take that here? Naruto asked, you mean a portal? Better go there ourselves, drop it into one from the woods, and then return here. Teleporting one from distance without actually seeing it is dangerous. I might be wrong, and take here the rocks behind it or worse. She answered, okay. I would have loved this to be easier instead of wasting time going around collecting stuff just to go on with this adventure. Don't jinx it. Or we may end up doing just that and run around doing side quests and similar stuff. Yadajimai said as the Foxy bot went transported back through one of Midna's portal. Meanwhile, Orden Village. A white-haired man was calmly looking around as he stepped through the main gate of the small village, his shinobi attire catching more attention than what he liked even on the road towards there. The Bulblins making an attempt at him had not helped his view of the place either. Jiraiya totally missed Ruzzle's eyes narrowing and is running back to Orden Village to alert the others, having recognized the same forehead protector, even if showing a strange marking instead of a leaf like Naruto's old one. Hey there, can you please help me? Jiraiya asked to the first man he saw. Unfortunately for him, it was Fathu, man that Ruzzle warned for first about the stranger's arrival. What do you want? Fathu asked with narrowed eyes, hoping that his Hylian was not too much butchered, making him mentally curse at not having enough chakra to pull a Naruto and spam enough clones to study faster. The spy master gave his best friendly smile. I was looking for an old friend of mine. It was such a long way here that I am dying to see him again. Have you seen him? Blonde hair, blue eyes, and whisker-like markings on his cheeks. They say he went towards this village after his ship docked. Jiraiya asked, the name? Fathu asked back, stalling to give Ruzzle enough time to alert everybody. Oh, my bad. Naruto Namikaze. Or Uzumaki. He tends to use both depending on the situation. The Toad Sage said, faking at the best of his abilities a sheepish expression. No, the name doesn't ring any bells. You can try a skin around. Nah, sorry, but my goats won't hurt themselves. He said before walking away without a second glance. Okay, he was not willing to help me. Let's hope the others won't be as much against the idea to help a stranger as he was. Otherwise, I don't want to know what happened to Naruto. Okay, with all his luck, he had probably befriended half Hyrule by now. Jiraiya said with a sigh, hoping that the swordsman that was training by himself would be more cooperative. Although the vicious stab the man gave to the dummy's balls once he saw the spy master kind of cracked that hope something fierce. Yes? Ruzzle asked, so much venom in his voice to have the grass in front of him die. I was looking for a dear friend of mine. His name is Naruto. Do you know him? The Toad Sage asked. Yes, I know him. Wonderful, but you won't get much help here. The swordsman added. What? Why not? Jiraiya asked. As an answer, Ruzzle tapped his own forehead. You know what happened back in Naruto's home village? Affirmative nod. Narrowed eyes. So you know how important it is for him to return, right? And I guess you already know that no one here will help you, and will even try to stop you should you force the issue and try to kidnap Naruto, right? Ruzzle asked back. I'm a trained warrior. Jiraiya replied casually, and he is a member of our village and our friend. The other said, I see. Any chance that I can buy the information? The toad sage offered. Negative shake of the head, new stab on the dummy's balls. I thought so. Listen, I am his godfather, and I am doing this for his own good. Jiraiya tried saying, this time jumping back as the sword was about to stab his balls. Last time I checked, exiling a family member was not something good for said person. I for certain never did that with my son. Russell said while resting his sword on his shoulder. Look, I am here for myself. Konoha does not even know I am here, let alone Naruto. I even erased the few traces he had left behind of his coming here. I need to talk to him and see if I can convince him to come back. The old man said, see that house? Russell answered, pointing at a small construction under a tree. Naruto and me repaired its roof last year. That one down there. He had personally painted it since the mayor was bedridden and could not do it himself. Fathu, the man you spoke with, could save a lot of rupees by taking Naruto into work in the farm, since our friend could do by himself the work of 3 people and barely feel it. The kids of this village see him as their big brother and hero, along with me. You won't find a single living being here to help you take him away. Not now. Nor ever. Is this a good enough answer? Russell said, crystal clear, but still, you don't understand the whole thing. Jiraiya said, you mean about his being a shinobi? I know about that, and I told the others that he had been sent away from his home because you people no longer needed him. He trusted me to hide his past, so I already feel bad about giving a very scarce version of the truth, but it was needed to stop you from reaching Naruto. The swordsman answered, please. The toad sage pleaded, this time with a real, sad expression. I can only say this. The children of the village had been kidnapped, and he departed to save them since I had not been strong enough to protect them. But don't you dare attack him because of that. He is my friend, and the last hope. I have to embrace my son again. Warrior or not, I will make you pay if you cost me my son. Russell roared while pointing at Jiraiya with his sword. I can help tracking them down instead. I am not a monster, and I'm already kicking myself for acting like a traitor. The spy master answered with a frown. Then kick yourself harder. You are still thinking about bringing him back to a place that doesn't want him for himself. Russell replied, ending the conversation by returning to his training, his attacks on the dummy, gaining in ferocity from his latent anger. I'll be on my way then. Please let Naruto know I was looking for him. I really want to talk with him a last time. Jiraiya said before leaving the village, having seen enough glares in the population's faces to understand that he would not find help in there. As I thought, you found friends here, Naruto, and these ones are apparently ready to fight for you. At least I know you are somehow happy. Now let's see if I can find those kids. At least he won't face whoever kidnapped them alone. The old man said in determination, sprinting forward towards the new road in front of him. With Naruto and Midna, Farron Woods, here it is, we finally found it. The young man said in elation while watching the big structure that had been abandoned on the forest floor. Wouldn't have been easier to just destroy the thing instead of move it here? Yadajimai asked. The important thing is that we have a good enough spare. Let me take care of this. Midna said while exiting the fox shadow. Off. The small girl grunted as she shot from her hair-made hand a small spark of light that covered the bridge in energy before lifting the whole thing and sending it through a portal. That's kind of amazing. Naruto said with a grin. I do my best, thank you. She answered before sending both back to the broken bridge. Eldon, the foxified blonde, watched in amazement as the fragments of the bridge came down from the portal in the sky, rapidly recompacting into a whole passage, as if it had never been removed in the first place. A smirking Midna calmly floated down to sit on the young man's back while cleaning some imaginary dirt from under her nails. Did you see that? Isn't the power of Twilight amazing? She asked. You are amazing, that's for sure. Naruto answered, jerking his back a little to make her jump in surprise. TCH. As long as you remember that. Now move. Midna ordered while pointing forward. Yash. As you wish, honey. He answered in a sprint, and missing the flinch he caused her. The sprint was short-lived, though, when a heavy-looking gate blocked their advance. What now? This is getting ridiculous. Yadajimai said with a groan. This is one elaborate gate. What were they keeping in? The imp girl asked. In or out? The vixen said. I guess you can't use a Rasengan while in a fox body, right? She asked. It's a complicated technique. It may take me weeks to find a way to do it in this body, and then even more to actually accomplish it. Can you help me with your hair? He answered. And getting them all dirty? Midna said with a frown. Forget that I asked. I'll try to jump over. Naruto answered with a sweat drop. With a sigh, the transformed shinobi walked away from the gate, trying to gauge how much space he would need before running towards the block of gi, focusing as much chakra as he could on his legs, and then jumping, surpassing the gate, and landing on top of one of the creatures guarding it with a snapping of breaking bones. And headbutt later, and the last guard too went down. See? You could do that by yourself without risking my hair. Eh, Midna said with a laugh, returning on his back and signaling him to move on. Women. The young man muttered. A small trip through the mountains and a small town presented itself to the eyes of the two, three counting Yadajimai and the seal. Heroes. Seems nice even if abandoned. Naruto said, if I am not mistaken, this should be Kakariko Town. Midna said with a thoughtful expression. Not a lot of people here, but plenty of shadow beasts. Pay attention. The huge vixen said. Behind you! Midna yelled as a shadow beast managed to sneak up on them to hit the young man, making her grow pale at the sound of his spine snapping under the hammer punch of the creature. Ayard! He screamed in pain before being thrown away. Naruto! She yelled in horror while the beasts circled her. Damn you! She hissed while enlarging her zone, paralyzing them. To her shock, a blur moved past her, using the paralysis she inflicted on the shadow beast to tear off the head of one of them before focusing on the others. Juby, damn it. That hurts, you know? You Tims will learn to avoid me once I will have done with you. Date fucking Bayo. The shinobi said in anger as he moved in front of Midna to protect her. You okay? Sorry if I got hit. Shouldn't have got my guard down like that. He said. You're alive? Midna asked in confusion. I am too stubborn to die, and I have too much chakra from Yadajimai. My Uzumaki blood gives me absurd vitality, and once returned Gimi-chan to her full power and absorbed the Ten Tails' power. Well, let's say that unless one beheads me, very few things will kill me. He answered. Without waiting for her answer, the young man jumped to the side to evade a new attack of the now moving beasts, grabbing the creature's outstretched arm in his jaw and biting down as hard as he could, chopping off the appendage at the elbow before using his hold on it to throw the monster away. Smirking at seeing the beast broke its neck upon landing. Now it's just between me and you. Why don't you just attack me instead of reviving your friends? Or you are afraid? He taunted. Growl! With a guttural growl of anger, the shadow beast lunged forward. With a growl of his own, Naruto threw himself down so that the monster could sail above him before rapidly jumping up, using the creature's own weight and momentum to flip it on its back and then pounce. You don't touch my friends. Got it? He yelled while punctuating each word with a swipe of claws, tearing away flesh and muscles in a shower of black blood until the beast died with a whimper-like cry of agony. Once done, he looked around for other menaces, actually grunting in anger when Midna pounced on him like a missile. Really? Are you sure you were a shinobi? It's the second time you got ambushed, Yadajimai said in annoyance. Don't you dare make me worry like that again. You idiot, Midna said while hugging him as hard as she could, actually giving a little kiss to his snout before noticing, turning completely green and wide-eyed as a result. To her surprise, he just laughed and nuzzled her a little, playfully licking her cheek with a wide grin. Okay. I like you too, and I will be careful, promise? The transformed blonde said. I told you that she would have grown attached to you, Yadajimai said with a groan. It's not my fault. I only show concern and act friendly. It's not like I flirted with her or anything. He thought in answer. That is true, but still. The vixen said, annoyed. I'm sorry? He answered while momentarily appearing inside the seal to give her back a short massage. I hate you, she muttered. Really? He asked with a sad expression. But I love you too. What are we going to do with her? She answered. We can't be sure that she loves me. It may just be concern for her friend. A dream and a kiss does not make an infatuation, Naruto said. But what if she does have feelings for you? Yadajimai asked. She will have to get out with it. I won't force the issue, but she will have to openly say if she loves me or not. Should she take too much, I will openly ask. No sense having this get out at the worst possible moment and ruin everything. He said, I guess you are right. Go back before she snaps out of her shock and notice you were spacing out. The woman said with a sigh. Okay. Love you, furball. He said, giving her a kiss to the cheek before disappearing. Love you too, Baka. She answered with a small smile. Real world, feeling better? He asked. A little. Midna answered with an embarrassed tone. That's okay. Now let's see if we can find the light spirit of this place. The young man offered. Yes, say, Naruto, how serious is this thing between you and both the human girl and the furball? She asked casually. Damn it. Yadajimai roared. What? Naruto asked with wide eyes. Come on, we would be better matched. One is a whining, weak human while the other needs the Twilight to even gain in human-like body, while still retaining a bitchin' nature. Minna said, why does everyone say that I am a bitch? I am a vixen, even if faraway cousins, foxes and dogs, are two different species. The Biju said in anger. Midna, please tell me you're joking. The transformed blonde pleaded. No, I am serious. I am so much more fun. You saw that. We make such a good team. And by the way, contrary to Ilya, Naruto corrected. It's the same. As I was saying, between me and her, your being a fox does not disturb me. I am even willing to help you while still in this form. She said while caressing one of his back legs. I am not exactly into bestiality. Naruto answered in discomfort. But I am not an animal. Neither are you since you are trapped in an animal body. If ever, it's your relationship with the furball that is borderline bestiality. Midna answered, using her hair hand to caress one of the 10 tails of the young man. First of all, don't you dare using quotation marks when talking about my relationship with my mate. And second, I am not an animal. I am a sentient chakra construct given a soul and the shape of a 10-tailed fox. There is a clear difference. Yadajimai said, don't listen to her. Let me take care of your stress, if you know what I mean. Midna answered with a whisper. Help? Naruto whined to the hero who was transformed into a blue-eyed beast. In the realm of shadow, in Twilight, the feeble voice of the light spirit said, as the arguing group was reaching the spirit spring. I'm just saying that I am more open-minded about you, and you're being a fox than those two fools. Midna said, all of them ignoring the spirit completely. Hero chosen. By the gods. The weak light tried saying, open-minded? Maybe you mean spread-legged. You bitch. Yadajimai said with a sneer, please look for my light and gather it into the vessel. The light spirit said while gaining a tick mark on its ethereal head. Oh, come on. I am here professing my interest in you, and you are ignoring me? Who else would be ready even now to suck your co? Stop ignoring me, you assholes. Gathering as much power it had left through anger alone, the light spirit yelled as hard as it could, startling the 3 in front of the spring. You, light, vessel, now. The voice roared while throwing the vessel of light on Naruto's face. Okay. Jeez. Didn't know light spirits too could get constipated. Naruto said while taking away the vessel to hunt down the insects of darkness holding the light. Fuck you too, eh? Those insects are the form of the evil that attached itself to my scattered light. I will use my remaining power to show you where those are hiding. The spirit answered with a grunt. Thank you. Naruto said, pay attention. The darkness is now hunting you. The spirit said, yes, we suspected that. Midna answered while the fox she was riding sprinted away. Let's see. The first one should be inside this house. Naruto said while following the images the light spirit sent to his mind. Can you climb the wall? Midna asked. No problem. Everything is possible to someone as awesome as me. Naruto answered while walking on the wall to enter from the roof. Inside the house. Real world. Once inside, Naruto's eyes flew wide open at seeing the children of Orden Village sitting in a corner in company of a strange man that was consoling them with a gentle smile on his face. Cripes. I don't see those black brutes anywhere. They've got to be hiding somewhere, waiting for their helpless little prey to come out. Then they'll feast. Another man said, good. Keep going. I'm sure you can scare the children a little bit more if you try harder. What an idiot. Yadajimai said, face-palming at the man's words. We are safe as long as we remain in here, child. Be at ease. The man with the kids said with a reassuring smile after launching a discreet glare at the other. Oh yeah? I wonder if the monsters out there agree with you. The same man from before said, they sure didn't seem impressed by my bombs. How long do you think we can hold sanctuary against beasts that strong? Huh? He added with a sneer. From his position at the window, he couldn't see that, but Naruto himself saw the apparent leader of the group gain, for the shortest instant, the expression of someone really considering the idea of offering the idiot to the shadow beasts, either as a bait or just to have him to shut up. Remember that lady from the general store? Just one of those things attacked her, and a whole gang from town went to save her. And what happened? She was KYYYYUCH. Something has bitten me. The man was about to say before a pissed-off Naruto finally decided to bite him on the ass to shut him up. Barnes, stop this instant. If something has bitten you, then I am happy. The man said with a murderous glare on his face. Look, Renadu, I swear something did bite me. I don't want to stay here. You sure there is nowhere we can hide better? Please? Barnes pleaded. There is the cellar. Renadu answered with a sigh. Then we can. When father asked me to secure the cellar, there were monstrous insects waiting. You can light up the torches to open it, but then you'll have to face those things. Renado's daughter said while shaking her head. At hearing that one of the kids, Beth, started crying in fear. Come on, Beth, don't cry. It'll be okay. Colin, the son of Russell, said while trying to calm her down. I am sure Naruto will come and save us all. I can feel it, he added. That seemed to calm the other kids as Beth stopped crying and Talo actually showed a small smile. Good boy, Colin. Don't worry, I am here. Unseen by them, Naruto smiled fondly at those words, nuzzling the boy a little, making him jump. As something touched me, the kid said, we are not alone, but maybe this presence is friendly. Renadu said while looking around. Twilight version of the house. They knew you were going to save them. What an hero, Midna said with a laugh. I am not the actual chosen one. It's only thanks to the seal if I only turn into a fox while in the twilight. Let's go. We need to help them. Naruto answered. To think that it's all Princess Zelda's fault. She chose this state of affairs, after all. The imp girl said. What? Trying to sabotage the competition? Yadajimai asked with a smirk, actually laughing at the middle finger she got in answer. Whatever, let's open that cellar and kill the insects. At least like that the others will have a better hiding place. The young man said. Then take that torch and light the others. You can't spit out fire when a fox. Minna said. Real world. HHHOY. That torch is moving on its own. Barnes said while pointing at the floating torch with a shaking finger. What? What sorcery is this? Renadu said in shock. Look, Talo said, pointing at the thing, tracing an N on the floor before moving to light up the other torches on the walls. Naruto, Beth said with wide eyes. He is here? I can't see him. Maybe he is dead and he is a ghost. Barnes said while looking around. As if he will die because of those things. Idiot, Beth said with a glare. All of them watching the totem in the middle of the room moved to the side, showing a ramp of stairs going down. I don't know how he is doing this, but he is actually helping us. For that I am grateful. Renadu said in the twilight, while Renadu was coordinating how they would refuge inside the cellar. Naruto and Midna moved forward to take care of the bugs down there, killing the small, devilish creatures before climbing a secondary hole on the ceiling of the last room, coming out in the middle of what appeared to be an abandoned graveyard. I don't like this place, the young man said with a groan. Focus on finding the other bugs. If we really have to remove the twilight from here, we better move fast. Midna said while leaning down on his back to play with his ears. Can you stop? This is no time to play, he asked with a sigh. Between bats, demon-looking birds, and bugs, both the graveyard and Kakariko Town were filled with disgusting, corrupted creatures ready to try and eat fox meat for lunch. And having his companion whisper M-rated things, or playing with his ears and tails while hunting down tears of light was eroding his patience even faster. And then there is this little thing I can do with my tongue where I swirl it around and, oh look, a strange wall blocks the path. I wonder what is happening up there. Naruto yelled, trying to cut off a new suggestion of the girl. Spoil sport. She muttered offended, following him while he climbed the wall with a frown on her face. Focusing on the spirit trapped in the twilight, Naruto saw that it was a strange, bulking creature with the skin seemingly made of rocks. A Gorin, they usually live in mountains and are caves. Minna explained, stupid elders and their stupid pride. If we have a problem that needs a human to see resolved, then let's ask them, I say. The Gorin mounting guard muttered with a frown. Elders. Even in Hyrule, they only create troubles. The world is really small. Naruto said while speeding past him. Once past a long corridor, the duo reached a wide clearing filled with small geysers filling the area of hot steam. As if it was any easier to hunt shadow insects. The imp girl said with a sigh. Come on, that one down there is the last one. Let's catch it and go back. Naruto said while stealthily approaching the last remaining insect, At least according to the vessel of light, only lacking a single sphere. Pay attention, we are in what is called Death Mountain, so we need to stay focused. Midna said, why do they call it Death Mountain? The young man asked, because between eruptions and all that this is not exactly a friendly place. She answered just as the last bug fell to the transformed shinobi's bites. Just like last time, as soon as the vessel of light had been filled with tears of light, the small thing teleported Naruto back in front of the spirit spring to watch as the collected tears returned into the water, rejuvenating the whole land and giving back to the light spirit its power and to the shinobi his proper body. Though, and we were having so much fun in the twilight. Remember to collect the fused shadow when you have the occasion. We will need that as well. The already shadow-covered Midna said with a playful whine while returning in his shadow. In a blinding light coming from the spring, the towering form of a bird holding a small sun in its talons came into view. Naruto really wanted to comment the strange beard it sported, but he felt that it would have been inopportune, so he held his tongue. My name is Eldon. I am one of the light spirits of Hyrule, and the one that guards these lands. Great hero chosen by the gods, the dark power you seek lies in the sacred grounds of the proud mountain dwellers. The light spirit said, you mean the Gorons? Naruto asked, yes, them. But those grounds have been defiled, draped in a shadow, and seeded with evil. Yes? Naruto asked while cracking his knuckles. By those vile creatures that are using the power of Twilight for their evil plans. Not that the Twilight was evil in itself, of course. The light spirit said, I see that you people too can learn. The blonde said, as long as you are a fox one can stay safe. It's once you are back into a human body that one has to be careful. By the way, you must go to those sacred grounds and cleanse them, because only then you will be able to claim that power. The light spirit said, dissipating into sparks and returning into the springs. Naruto. As soon as Eldon disappeared, Talo's scream could be heard from one of the houses. Dovaise. The shinobi said with an happy smile and gladly accepting the hug from all of them. You really came? You really saved us? Beth said between tears. How did you do that invisible thing? It was awesome. Talo asked with awe-filled eyes. You are the one from Orden whom these children spoke of? Rinnedu asked. Yes. Thank you for taking care of them. Naruto answered. Think nothing of it. I myself have to thank you for opening the cellar for us. How did you do that? The man asked. I can't answer with the full details, but to your perspective, everything seemed normal. In reality, a veil called Twilight was covering everything. I happened to be able to walk through the twilight instead of being trapped like you others. The other answered, I see. I am Rinnedu, the shaman of this town, and this is my daughter Luda. I had found these kids after those strange creatures had left them to die, so I took them in to protect them, but we too had been soon overwhelmed by this twilight, and so went into hiding. Rinnedu said, I'm glad to hear that. Back in Orden their parents are worried sick. Naruto said, I can imagine. At first I couldn't believe they had come from so distant a place as the Ordona province. We don't actually remember much. All of a sudden, everyone was captured. And then, until now, it's been like a nightmare, Collins said with a worried expression. One we couldn't wake up from. Beth said with a pained nod. It was probably this twilight you speak of. This village has certainly seen its share of hardships. But not only those beasts attacked, but even the Goron have started to act strangely. We used to be friends, but now it's like they see us like enemies. Rinnedu said, probably the influence of the fused shadow awakening. Midna said in the blonde's mind, I have to ask you to take these children and flee this village before those creatures return. I can't leave my village, especially now that I have to talk the Goron into letting us use the mines once again. Can you take care of the children in my place? Rinnedu asked. Of course Naruto started saying before the ensemble of kids looked at him with pleading eyes. Naruto, you are so strong. Can you please help Rinnedu with the Gorons? Beth pleaded with big, shining eyes. Yeah, someone as awesome as you would have no problems. Talo said while latching to the blonde's legs. We can't leave them just to save ourselves. But what about your parents? Naruto asked. Please. The kids asked with sad puppy eyes. Hey, look at those dirty little bastards. Yadajimai said with a groan mixed to a squeal. Fine. Okay, have it your way. I will help, Naruto said, throwing his arms up in anger. Yay! The children yelled in triumph. Thank you, Mr. Naruto. I do not know how to repay you for your help. Rinadu said with a grateful smile. Just keep those little pests in check while I go kick some Goron ass and discover what happened. The blonde said with a groan. Back to the giant wall. The bastards try to stop people from entering by breaking the ladder. Big deal, Naruto said with a sigh while walking, hands in his pockets, up the wall. All for the shock of the kids and Rinadu that had secretly followed him to see what he wanted to do. We'll talk about spying people later. You brats, the blonde yelled, making the supposedly hidden kids and adult gain an embarrassed expression. Once reached the top, the Goron guard pointed at him with a frown. No humans allowed. These lands ahead belong to the Goron tribe. And the elders said, no human may pass. He said, piss off. I have no time to waste. The shinobi answered, yeah. With a thundering scream, the Goron curled into a ball and charged Naruto like a speeding bullet, intended to crush the blonde. TCH. Rasengan, the shinobi answered, trusting the spiraling sphere of chakra against the spinning creature, launching him back with a shrieking EW. Can I pass now? The blonde asked with a smirk. Welcome to the Death Mountain. Please remember to leave everything clean. The gift shop is to the right, and have a nice day. The Goron answered with a broken voice from the wall the attack had launched him through. Probably a concussion. Midna said while following Naruto towards the entrance of the mountain. Hey, come back here. I'm not finished with you. The guard said with a slurring voice before falling face first from the wall, unconscious. Naruto, wait, Rinadu said, climbing the wall himself to stop the young man. Yes? Even if I am impressed by your strength, doing it like this won't open them towards you. They respect power, but you'll need to beat them within their own rules. The shaman said, you mean fighting like them? Come on, it will take a minute. Let me do things my way. Naruto said with a whine. Please listen to me. I am begging you to trust me on this. The mayor of Orden Village, Bo, knows very well himself what I am talking about. Ask him the details about Goron society, and then you will be able to do as you please, but in a way that won't make my village an enemy of the Goron. Rinadu asked, okay, at least like that I will be able to tell them the kids are safe and to prepare a car to transport them. Without one, with all the monsters around, it would be a suicide to bring them to Orden. The blonde answered with a sigh. Thank you. Had things be different, I would have suggested to learn how to fight them, but you already have the power needed. Thing in itself, very surprising, you only need to learn the proper manners to deal with the Goron tribe. Rinadu said with a grateful smile. Fine, I'll be on my way then. The young man answered while walking down the wall and back towards the town. I forgot to ask him how he does that. The shaman muttered while climbing down the wall at slower pace. With Naruto, I wonder if Ilya and Epona are okay. The blonde wondered with a sigh, frowning when a familiar call resounded in the valley. Brah! A Bulblin screamed while clinging to the mare's tail with all its strength, trying to not be bucked off. Epona! Naruto yelled, watching in apprehension as the horse managed to shake off the two creatures on its back before angrily stomping on them, leaving two bloody Bulblins on the floor gibbering in pain. Epona-chan, it's me, the shinobi called out, attracting the animal's attention that then rushed towards him in clear happiness. What have those bastards done? Are you okay? He asked while checking her for wounds, making the mare answer with a little bump on his chest and a short huff. Noise. Okay. You can accompany me. I was going to Orden anyway, you spoiled horse. The blonde said while mounting on her, patting her head in affection and giving her sides a small tap to make her move. That's your question getting answered. Midna said from the shadows. I wonder how Ilya is, though. He muttered. Who cares? You have me now. The small girl answered. Don't start this again, Midna. Naruto warned. Back in Orden. Ouch. Please, Ilya, stop. What have I done? Bo asked from the floor where his daughter had pinned him. Huh? Sorry, Dad. I just got angry for a moment, and I don't know why, the flustered girl said while helping her father to get up from the training mattress. That's enough for today. I think even a bull would have troubles with you. And you have the same left uppercut your dear mother used to have, the mayor of Orden said while grabbing his jaw with a wince. Sorry again, Dad, the girl answered while looking down. A storm was approaching Naruto quite rapidly, but it was neither weather nor Twilight behind that, but three determined women all focusing their attention on the same blonde-haired target, as if he didn't have enough problems as it was. New Omake series, Jiraiya's Hylian Misadventures, Episode 1. The Toad Sage had just reached the docks of Hyrule after a short jogging of water walking, using his training at its best to infiltrate the small town without being seen. Good, now I need information about where Naruto is hiding, the old shinobi said with narrowed eyes before growing in huge smirk at seeing the small pub of the area. Perfect. The alcohol should help making their tongues slippery enough to tell me where to find the gaki, he said while rubbing his hands together, pushing open the door with a blinding smile. The spy master hoped that the Hylian he studied on the ship would have been good enough to help him. Damn stupid foreign language. 3 different alphabets, and those letters that look all the same. He cursed mentally before clearing his throat. Good morning, people. Sorry to disturb, but I was looking for a dear friend of mine named Naruto that I wish to see once again. Can you help me? I wanted to ask. To the men present, the actual meaning was different. What monkey feces? I am a princess of tits. I want to sodomize a frog named Naruto that stole my ass muffin. Can I fuck your mothers? The chorus of growls and the complete silence kind of stunned the Toad Sage. Huh? Is everything all right? Jiraiya asked, confused. Huh? Stupid monkey eating wondering? This one actually got people confused themselves. What do you want, stranger? One of the most burly sailors asked with a sneer. No. Thank you, I don't want to buy shoes. Jiraiya answered with a friendly smile. What do you want to do to my sister with that chicken? The furious sailor roared while rolling up his sleeves. I am sorry, I think there is a problem about your language I failed to learn properly. The Toad Sage tried saying in a placating manner. My mother is not a bulbo's ass, nor she wears my dead grandma's corpse. The man yelled while trying to grab Jiraiya. Stop it. I don't understand a word of what you say, the spy master said while jumping away to evade the attack. I will pay a case of rum to whoever will help me TROFF the balls of this bastard. The same man roared, gaining a similar roar of consensus from the whole pub. Jiraiya may not have had a good enough grasp of Hylian in that situation, but he could still recognize when an angry mob was being formed in record time. I think I will take my leave then, bye-bye, he said before bolting out. I'll go shit on your father's grave then, bye-bye. Get him. One of the now bloodthirsty sailors bellowed as the 24 furious men gave chase. Personal memo. Reread the books and castrate the idiot that sold me those at the first occasion I get. Jiraiya muttered to himself while dodging knives and empty bottles by the dozen. That was decidedly not his day, nor the way to start his mission about recovering Naruto. If things progress like that, Jiraiya really feared that by the end of the story, the whole country will be demanding his blood for a reason or another. There is no other choice. Rincewind no jutsu, the spy master said. Hyrule rode towards Orden Village. Naruto was still grumbling while riding Epona all the way back to Orden, lamenting the whole time about being forced to prolong the torture instead of doing things his way. Consider this. At least you will be able to tell everyone that the kids are safe. Focus on that and ignore the rest. Yadajimai said with a gentle smile. I know that. I only find this unnecessarily overcomplicated. It would have took a minute for me to blast half the mountain to pieces, grab the fused shadow fragment in there, and then be back home. The blonde answered with a whine. That is true, but then the Gorons would have resented Kakariko Village more openly than just stopping them from using their minds. Midna answered. Sigh. That is true as well, fine. I will do as you people say, but I haven't worked so hard to achieve my level just to not use the abilities that I gained. Naruto answered. The path of a hero is covered in sacrifices. Big or small doesn't matter. We all are called to shoulder them. The wolf form of the dead warrior said from the shores of Orden Spirit Spring. What are you doing here? Naruto asked after nearing the luminescent animal. Checking on you? I was curious. The warrior said sheepishly. I am okay, and will complete this mission. You can rest in peace. You did your part in helping me. The blonde answered with a gentle smile. But I was too late in finding the proper hero. The spirit said with a sigh. You didn't know what happened, and yet you helped by teaching me what you know about fighting. You did all you could. Naruto answered. I just wished I could do well when I was alive, but I failed. The warrior said with a sad tone. I failed too, you know. I couldn't stop my best friend from taking a dark path, and I couldn't stop people from dying during the war, but I always did my best, and I do not regret the choices I made. I even managed to redeem my friend after years of failed attempts. I try to console myself that had I not been as strong as I know I am, probably way more people would have been dead. Our mistakes sting, but we did good things as well. I am not asking you to just focus on the good things you did, but to at least try to see the whole picture and the successes you had in life. The blonde said, please save Hyrule, like that I would be able to have a little peace from the knowledge that I too helped. The warrior pleaded, I'll do it. Don't worry, I'll stop whoever is using the Twilight and save Hyrule. This is my land now, and I won't let some bastard play with it and the people living here as he please. Naruto promised. Thank you, Naruto Namikaze, I will hold you on that. The spirit said before disappearing in a small flash of light. Let's go, girl, we're almost in Orden. The blonde said, looking at the empty patch of earth with a sad smile. We can do this, Naruto. We will save these people as we did with the elemental countries. Yadajimai said with a smile herself. Elemental countries, eh? You mean the place you talked about? Midna asked. Yes, the place I come from, and that I left behind after they banished me. Naruto answered with a sigh. You'll have to stop hating them eventually. The imp girl said, I know, and I understand that Tsunade didn't have enough of a choice in handling everything. But I was so angry with them. He answered, closing his eyes in a pained expression. We can't return now. They would go for the second option and put him into a coma. Since he escaped, he showed that they cannot hold him where they want. Yadajimai said with a sigh, what about your friends? Midna asked, I don't know, I just hope they will forgive me one day. Naruto said, they are strong. Naruto, they will understand and go on. If you don't believe me, we may try to write them. Yadajimai said, yeah, maybe. That if they will accept getting letters from a traitor like me. The blonde shinobi answered, they may try to attack you if you return, but they won't succeed. I don't think there are many people out there as strong as you. Midna said, surfacing from the young man's shadow to hug him. Heh. Thanks, Midna. At least I am here now. I can have a new life here and try to be happy. He said with a weak smile. That's the spirit. Eehee. I will be with you. We are together in this. The imp girl said with a nod and a small laugh. Right? Let's see how's everyone. I want to make sure Ilia-chan is okay as well. Naruto said with a more determined expression. There. Now you ruined the atmosphere. What did you ever see in that bimbo? Midna muttered with a frown while returning in Naruto's shadow. Sigh. As if I did not have enough problems. The young man muttered defeated. Orden Village. Few minutes later. Naruto. Ruzzle yelled while running towards him, his scream alerting pretty much everyone in the village that soon swarmed the young shinobi. Are you okay? And the kids? Are they safe? The swordsman said while shaking him wildly. Ruzzle, please let him go. He can't answer if you shake him like that. Ilia said while prying the blonde off of the man's hands. Okay. First of all, the kids are safe in Kakariko Village. A man named Rinnedu is keeping them safe. Naruto said with a groan, still a little confused by the shaking. Colin is alive? The children are all safe. Oh, I am so glad I kept the faith. Ruzzle's wife said with barely restrained elation. Thank you, Naruto. From the bottom of my heart. Ruzzle said with tears in his eyes. Hey, come on. Don't start crying now. That is not you. Naruto said with a smirk. I'm not crying. I'm just sweating through my eyes. The swordsman said between sobs. Okay, everyone. Let our hero hear breath. I know you are all overwhelmed by the news, but I can assure you that Rinnedu is a good man that will protect the kids to the best of his abilities. I know him and would trust him with my life. The village mayor, Bo, said while trying to calm down everyone. I'm going to Kakariko. I'll help Naruto bring the kids here. Ruzzle offered immediately. Orden Village needs someone able to protect it, and we also need a cart to take the kids. The road here is filled with beasts, so without one it would just be a suicide for them to move here. Naruto said, but Ruzzle tried saying, drop it. You know our blonde here. He will just beat the stuffing out of you just to do things his way. He's a head harder than the goats. Fathu said while shaking his head. Once the cart is ready, you will accompany him. As for now, trust our friend Naruto here. Bo said, grabbing the swordsman's shoulder. Oh, okay. Ruzzle answered with a pained nod. I am sorry, Ruzzle, but I just ask you to have a little patience and trust me, you know about me. Naruto said, we all know, Naruto. Ruzzle told us some things about your past before you joined us. Bo said, what? I trusted you. I asked you to keep everything quiet. The blonde said in anger, betrayal evident in his eyes. A man came here recently to find you. In order to stop the others from unknowingly help him, I had to give them some details. I am sorry. Why you never told us? Fathu asked. Tell you what? That I practically was a child soldier by your standards? Ilya knows everything, and Russell knows a great part of everything, even if not every detail. I just wanted to leave that part of my life behind and start anew. The blonde answered, passing a hand through his hair. We have not helped that man, soldier or farmhand. You still are, and will continue being the Naruto we know. You had luckily remained yourself in your beliefs. Otherwise, we would have started having doubts about you. You are part of Orden now, Naruto. Konoha may have sent you away, but we will never do that, Russell said while grabbing the blonde's shoulders, looking in his eyes with a determined expression. They're not telling lies, Yadajimai said with a happy smile. Thank you, Naruto said with a sniff. Don't cry now. You are a badass ninja and all that. Don't ruin your image now, Ilya said while hugging him. Okay, he said, hugging her close to his body while ignoring the growling of both Yadajimai and Midna. Do you think that stranger will return here? Bo asked. Hard to say. One can't be sure of anything, the Orden swordsman answered. Who was he? The blonde shinobi asked. He said he was your godfather. Fuck. That's Jiraiya. He's the spy master of Konoha. Of everyone that could have come, he's the worst, Naruto said with a grimace. He won't have an easy life. His Hylian was pretty much mangled and with a heavy accent. The same you had when you arrived before reducing it with practice. Not a lot of people are open to strangers, Bo answered. That, and he is not a friendly guy like ya. I can tell that with just a look, Fathu said with a smirk. You never left our village before now either. If we don't talk, he won't have a lot to work on, Ilya added. Okay, just be careful, just in case, Naruto said. Don't worry, Bo said with a nod, mimicked by the others. I almost forgot. I need a favor, Bo. Can you help me? The blonde asked. What do you need? The man asked back. It's about the Gorons, the young man answered. Need some help in fighting them? More or less, Rinadu said to ask you about dealing with them. Naruto said. I see. Come with me, let's talk a little in private, Bo said with a nod. Wait for me. I am coming too, Ilya said while following the two. A few minutes later, Mayor's house. By the way, can I ask you what are you wearing now? Bo asked curious. This? Let's call them my working clothes and leave it at that, the blonde answered with a chuckle. They are nice, isn't it? Ilya added with a smile. You two are dating, the mayor said with a frown. Well, yes, Naruto admitted. And you never thought about asking me before that? Bo asked with a raised eyebrow and crossed arms. Dad, Ilya roared, making her father flinch. I'm not a little girl anymore. I can choose who to date. I don't need you to scare everyone that tries, she said while jabbing her finger on the man's chest. But I am your dad. I am supposed to keep the boys away, Bo answered with a tone pretty near the whining. Cough. Sorry to interrupt this daughter-father moment, but can we get back on topic? Naruto asked. I want you to ask me permission to date Ilya first, Bo answered while giving Naruto his back. Sigh. Mr. Bo, can I please date your daughter? I promise to keep my hands away from improper places, the blonde asked. You know, I don't mind your hands roaming around, Ilya muttered with a red face, luckily unheard by her father. Bulmatird, say no, say no. Come on, pig face. Say no. Yadajimai muttered with crossed fingers. Say no, say no. You better say no, you fat idiot, Midna hissed with narrowed eyes. Okay, I will give you a chance, but do not waste it, the mayor said with a grunt. Yes, thank you, Dad, Ilya said with a wide smile while hugging the blonde shinobi. Fuck. Both Midna and Yadajimai yelled at the same time. Naruto just choose to ignore both. Very well, come this way, Bo said while gesturing to the blonde and Ilya to follow him in the back. Is that sumo? Here in Hyrule? Naruto said in surprise at seeing the small gym the village mayor had built in the wide room, snorting in amusement at seeing the oh-so-familiar piece of culture he had left behind in the elemental countries. It's the price of globalization, Yadajimai said while shaking her head. So you've heard of sumo wrestling already? That's good then. Gorons like to match strength in sumo contests. Meet their power heads on, and they will respect you. If you are facing a Goron, do not attack immediately. Challenge his strength and defeat your foe. They will remember it, and you'll have their respect once everything is back to normal. Boensiv Nodink. Don't worry, I am stronger than what it looks like, even if I never tried sumo before, Naruto said, smirking while flexing his arms in an exaggerated manner. I'll test you about it then. If you're making your way up the Goron Mountain, you'll just need to push them away. But if you're getting in a proper sumo match, chances are you're in an arena like this. The first fella that gets pushed outside the arena lose. Bo said, "Yep, just like home. I used to have a friend that always joked about becoming a professional sumo wrestler in case he decided to quit being a shinobi." Naruto said, "Oh really?" "Yep, dear old Kankuro." The blonde said with a sad sigh, "Enough mushy stuff. Hop on and took off your shirt. I am testing ya. We'll see if you are good enough to deal with the Gorons, lad." Bo said, giving a strong slap to Naruto's back with a grin on his face. "Oh, okay." Naruto answered with a shrug. "Perfect. Like this I'll have the excuse to test the lad. If he lose, and he will, I'll have a good enough excuse to tell Ilya to break up with him. Nothing personal. But she is still too young to have a boyfriend," and once changed into more appropriate clothes, Bo re-entered the room, his thoughts dying at seeing the shirtless blonde already waiting in his place on the arena. "You sure have muscles," the old man muttered. "I train a lot. Thank you." The blonde answered with a smile. "Well, here we go," Bo muttered, slamming his feet down as hard as he could in a show of power. "YOSH," Naruto replied, smirking while doing the same, his stomping producing deep cracks on the floor and shocking Bo a little. "Sorry, got carried away," he then said with a sheepish expression. "Duh." Without wasting too much time, Bo charged forward, his arms closing around the blonde's chest as he started pushing. NNNNGH. Uff. NNNNGH. Huffing heavily, the mayor of Orden Village pushed as hard as he could, his feet leaving deep trails on the floor of the arena while his face got beet red. "Dad, you are not moving," Ilya said with an uncertain tone. NNNNGH. "What?" Bo said, looking down with bulged-out eyes to see that indeed he had not moved the blonde in front of him of an inch. "My turn now, right?" Naruto asked eagerly. "Well, technically it's not about turns. You should push me back or get free," Bo said while still pushing. "Oh, sorry then. Nothing personal," the blonde answered while grabbing the old man's face with one hand. "Heave-oh," Naruto said with a smirk, lightly pushing back and forcing Bo to uselessly try to push back himself. All in all, it looked like the old man was doing the moonwalk. "Hey, out of the arena," the young man said while gently shoving Bo out of the ring. "Damn it. Okay, you seem to understand the basics, but I'm not convinced yet." "Again?" the old man asked with narrowed eyes. "If you say so, Bo. Give me your best shot. Don't go easy on me," Naruto answered with a big grin and a happy nod. "This time I won't go easy on you, lad. Fight me as if you were fighting one of the Gorons," the other said in determination. "Okay." With Ilya, the girl was watching in amusement as her father got repetitively flung out of the arena by Naruto, sometimes even with the young man carrying Bo on his shoulder before dropping him out, all for the ire and shattered pride of the mayor. "What are you looking at?" asked a voice, the tone filled to the brim in venom. "And who are you?" Ilya asked back, surprised to see a small creature of shadows float near her with narrowed eyes. "I am Midna, Naruto's girlfriend," she answered with crossed arms. "TCH. As if I am his woman," Ilya said with a glare. "What is he seizing you, I wonder? You are so plain, nothing worthy of all his interest. I may understand his attraction to that huge fur ball, since whenever she gains a human body, she gets a little prettier. But still," Midna asked in disbelief. "So that nine-tailed bitch now has a human body?" "As I suspected. I knew she was planning something. And you, I'm not plain. I am human. But you, what do you hope to have from him with that body of yours?" Ilya answered with a growl. "Yadajime only has a body when in the Twilight. Luckily, Naruto always managed to stop her from getting any, of course saving himself for me," Midna said with a smug impression. "He is no longer a virgin. We gave each other our first time and used to have a healthy sexual life before all this started," Ilya answered, pleased by the other's horrified expression. "You little farm whore. You seduced him," Midna hissed in anger. "Probably, but ever since then we had been a couple. Well, not for long. We have kissed not long ago." He had shoved his tongue in my mouth with raging hunger, so I know he is interested, Midna replied in victory. "Interested? In what?" "I don't see anything sexy in you. And a kiss means nothing," Ilya answered, although while watching the blonde with an apprehensive expression. "Are you sure? I am more useful to him than a little girl from a farm. And if he needs, I am sure I will be able to show him how good I am. All that wealth would be wasted with someone like you," Midna said with a chuckle. "Wasted? You don't know him. I am the only one that can keep up with him," the other girl said. "TCH. I saw him fighting. There is no way in Twilight that you can match that stamina. Midna said, scoffing. He can be gentle if he wants, and I showed him every time that I can take whatever he can dish out. He and his clones too. Clones? He can really use that cloning technique in sex? Midna asked with wide eyes. Yes, he is a walking gangbang, and he is all mine, Ilias said smugly. Oh, now I'll need to talk him into doing that. That's something that needs to be explored. Midna muttered eagerly, looking at Naruto with hungry eyes. You are cheating. There is no way you can do this without wearing iron boots like me. Bo yelled in rage as was threw out once again, the strange boots on his feet clanging loudly as he stomped back in the arena. Iron boots? Naruto asked. Well, those Gorons are made of rock. One can't hope to beat them in sumo wrestling with power alone. Bo said in embarrassment and with a very red face. What do you mean, Dad? You cheated when you fought the Gorons? Ilya asked, surprised. I had a guy I know create those. They're special. They get heavy as soon as someone wears them, making you difficult to throw away even for a Goron. Please don't tell the others I am using this trick. Bo answered, looking down in shame. Wait. You mean to tell me that those boots are heavy only when someone wears them? Naruto asked. Yeah. Bo answered with a nod. I call bullshit. That's not possible. Naruto said, throwing his arms up in the air with a groan. Here, Bo said while taking off the iron boots and throwing them at the blonde. Damn, they do not weigh that much. The blonde said in surprise. Probably enchanted like that compass. Yadajimai offered. Well, I don't need them. I should be fine without. Naruto said. No, take those with you. Goddesses forbid you do need them, at least you'll have them with you. Just please you too. Keep my secret, especially with Rinadu. Bo answered. My mouth is closed. Naruto answered. Me too, Dad. I won't talk this time, but you shouldn't boast about it so much if you cheated. Ilias said with a reprimanding tone. Okay, Bo said, flinching at his daughter's glare. Naruto, can we talk? Ilya then asked. Sure, everything you want. The blonde answered with a nod. We will be at the Spirit Spring. Dad, I'll be safe. The girl said before dragging the blonde outside. A few minutes later, Spirit Spring. Okay, we are here. What's happening? Naruto asked with a worried expression. Did you kiss Midna? Did you really do that? She asked. Yes, I did. He answered with a pained sigh. Why? She asked. I don't know. He answered while looking away. It's not an answer, Ilias said, moving closer with a sad light in her eyes. If it can help, the first time that happened we were both angry and acted on instinct. It all started from there. Midna said while coming out from the blonde shadow. You had to tell her? Don't you? You had to brag about it. He muttered. What do you want from him? Ilya asked. Not with him within earshot. Midna answered. I can let Yadajimai take over my body and speak through me. If you need privacy, I won't listen. Naruto said with a sigh. Yes, please. At least I will fix this thing once and for all, since you are not able. The girl answered. Without commenting on her words, he just closed his eyes. After a moment, he reopened them. This time, they were red with a slit-like pupil. Do tell. Ready to antagonize him? Do so. I don't mind. The more you attack him, the less problems I'll have to save him from you. I won't even need to get involved as you are doing all the dirty work for me. The voice coming out was distorted, and yet the amusement in it was unmistakable. He cheated on me? Ilya said. Tsh. Poor baby. Her boyfriend kissed another girl. Boo-hoo. Girl, I watched as he had been blackmailed into being the toy of a group of hopeless brats while his at-the-time girlfriend was not strong enough to put her feet down. And guess what? I am still here and ready to be with him. Once resolve this mess with the Twilight Realm, I'll just tell him that we need to leave. The fact that now you people know about his past will make things easier. Don't worry. I'll make sure he will forget about you. And soon he will. And I will also make sure some new spineless coward won't snatch him away by taking my rightful place at his side. Yadajimai said with a voice dripping in sarcasm. So what should I do? Forgive him? Ilya asked with narrowed eyes. No. I would prefer seeing you break up with him. He already had doubts about his relationship with you, and this will just prove him that he was right, and that I am the only woman he needs. And by the way, seducing him until he lost control and pretty much assaulted you so to use his guilt is not any better, darling. The vixen answered. That is a part one had not heard about. Do tell. Midna said with a smirk. Don't you dare. The girl here spent one entire year shamelessly flirting with our dear blonde. Then, as a finishing blow, she took a bath naked with him, all the while eluding and rubbing her foot on his leg. When she saw him snap and grab her, the victorious bitch here just made sure he could completely lose control and fuck her. After that, it was all a walk in the park for her to gain the boyfriend she wanted. Yadajimai answered, That's vile, a dirty tactic if I ever saw one. For shame, Ilya, Midna said with a mocking laugh. Did Yadajimai here tell you how she come to be sealed in Naruto? One day, she decided to attack his home village and kill people by the thousands, forcing his father to seal her in the only body that would have been able to hold her back, Naruto. And were you a helpful burden, Yadajimai? No, you weren't. You are the reason the first years of his life were a mess, and you even tried to kill him in multiple occasions. And when you failed that, you tried to take over his body for yourself. That's not exactly the picture of someone one can trust, Ilya said in anger. That said, I guess I am his better option then. Don't worry, girls. You don't need to feel forced in staying with him. I can take care of him by myself, Midna said, snorting in amusement at the other two glaring at each other. Back off. Contrary to the idiot here, I am capable of accepting my mistakes and dealing with the consequences. We have been through a lot together, so I won't step down now. And for your information, you uptight idiot, I was brainwashed into attacking Konoha. The rest, I admit, was all me, but I have no guilt over the attack itself. Yadajimai answered with a growl, at hearing both Human and Vixen argue and declare their intention at not giving up. Midna decided to be more sneaky about the whole thing, while the furball and the brat kept glaring at each other. A simple plan already started forming in Midna's head. Sure, she will need to share the blonde with Yadajimai until everything was ready, but being a good liar had always been a hidden talent of the imp girl. She would be patient and then act at the right occasion to have her shinobi all for herself. Good to hear that? Know what? Let's leave the bimbo here and share the blonde between the two of us. For all we know, you are stuck in him indefinitely. May as well try to find a sort of balance between us. Midna offered with her most believable smile. I may accept that for now, but I will keep an eye on you. I'll inform Naruto and then let him take back control. The vixen replied with narrowed eyes. Glad to see that we reached a compromise. Furball, the imp girl said with a satisfied nod. Let's go, Midna, Naruto said once back in control. He never looked back at Ilya while walking towards the long bridge connecting the village to the forest. Hey, Ilya said. Yes? He asked back with a plain face. Where are you going? She asked, flinching at his cold expression. Death Mountain. Once I've resolved this mess with the Gorons, I'll start organizing for a way to transport here the kids. He answered. And our problem? She asked. Resolved. Between us it's over, and you won't hear from me any more easy. He answered with a shrug. W8. Ilya called out, grabbing his arm before he could dash away. What? He asked. Do you love Yadajimai? Ilya asked. Yes. He said. And Midna? I still don't know. And me? The girl asked in apprehension. I used to. But in this situation, I can force you into accepting this. The blonde replied with a sigh. Can you choose between us three? She asked. No, I don't think I will ever be able. He answered. I see. I need to go. Naruto said with a nod before moving again. Be careful, she said, surprising him by kissing his cheek. We'll resolve this once this crisis is over, so don't die, or I won't forgive you. You won't escape this talk. Ilya said. Okay, I promise. Naruto answered before rapidly sprinting towards Kakariko village. Are you okay? Yadajimai asked. I don't know. He answered. I'm here if you need me, just ask. Midna offered. Me too. Thank you, both of you. And sorry for all this, he said with a small smile. Don't be idiot. I know you too well, so I am not angry. Yet, Yadajimai said with a chuckle. No problem. I'll find a way for you to pay me back later. Midna said laughing. He may not be able to choose, but he said nothing about me choosing for him. I'll just need to remove the competition. Ilya muttered with narrowed eyes while watching him disappear in the horizon. Some time later, Kakariko village. Beth and Talo were calmly talking about the future trip back to Orden village when an impromptu trembling of the earth startled them. What do you think is happening? Talo asked while looking around frantically. It sounds like steps, Beth said in confusion. Rhea. With a deafening scream, King Bulblin came racing through the streets of the small village. Behind him, other Bulblin were riding the monstrous-looking bull boss, all of them showing no intentions to stop or even just slow down, no matter who or what they would run over. What are those things? Talo screamed in fear. And monsters, Beth said, too much terrified to move, not even noticing how Talo had already left in a fast run and too scared to worry about her. Beth, run away. Colin screamed to no avail, watching powerless as the girl kept looking transfixed at the monstrous boars about to run over her. What should I do? The young boy muttered in fear as the thundering steps drew closer to the girl. I need to save her, Colin finally said in determination. Move away, he screamed while pushing Beth away and waiting with closed eyes the beast to crush him. When silence met his ears, he grew surprised. Tentatively opening one eye, Colin could see that the various bull boss, and their king as well, had all stopped abruptly. Every animal was staring behind Colin with wide eyes while breathing rapidly, surprising even the bulblins riding them. What's hap? Colin muttered before he too, just like everyone else present, grew pale at the new sensation of pure anger that came crashing down on Kakariko. It was primal and oppressive. It was intense, and it was what awakened the pure, unadulterated instinct, deeply ingrained even in the more evolved beings like the Hylian men and women in there, that a big predator was coming, and that said predator was pissed beyond comprehension. I was already in a crappy mood, and now this. I gave you people a warning to never attack my friends. I guess that I'll have to use brute force to teach you. A well-known voice growled, his words echoing in the complete silence of the village, as with every step the sensation grew thicker. Naruto. Colin stammered as big droplets of sweat started falling from his forehead. Good job saving Beth. I'm proud of you, the shinobi said once finally near the boy, his closeness to the bulbos making the beast take several steps back in fright. Thank you. The boy answered with a nod. Take her to safety. This is going to get nasty. Don't worry. I am not angry with any of you. Is this bastard here that will need to worry, Naruto said, making King Bulblin flinch a little, even if he had been the only one not showing any reaction to the blonde's anger up until that point. Take those pieces of trash and follow me. We are settling this once and for all with a fight to death, Naruto said. Gru, King Bulblin said with a feral smile and a nod while lifting his lance with evident eagerness. You are happy to fight me? Very well, it's your funeral after all, the blonde said as both ran out of Kakariko, more Bubblins and Bullboss joining at each step they took. Once reached a clearing, King Bubblin took out a war horn, blowing on it to produce an ear-splitting sound that seemed to excite the other Bubblin present, sending them and their rides into a frenzy and enticing their bloodthirst. Need some help? Midna asked. Not this time. I want to be the one to make them regret ever attacking my precious people, Naruto answered, moving his fingers in a cross-like hand seal with a determined expression. Gaibonsei no Jutsu, he called out, summoning several dozen of clones of himself in the clearing. Keep the others occupied. I don't want some cheap shot to interrupt the beating I will give to this asshole, the blonde ordered, watching as the clones immediately assaulted the other Bulblins present. Just me and you, fat ass. Come and get me, Naruto yelled. At that yell, both the original blonde and the King Bulblin started running side by side while exchanging blows between the shinobi's kunai and the creature's long lance, trying to skin each other alive. The fact that the human was running by himself and still keeping up with the giant Bulbo, not even registering in King Bulblin's mind, as he was too focused on trying to kill the blonde. Behind them, the various clones were assaulting with animal fury the various Bulblins that had been summoned by the Warhorn. And even without using jutsu themselves, the sheer physical strength of the overcharged Kage Bushin were tearing through the creature's ranks like a tank through a wall of tissue paper. Come here, bastard, one of the clones yelled while grabbing a nearby Bulbo by the horns and lifting it. Once taken a hold of it with his arms around the animal's throat, the Kage Bunshin launched the small Bulblin, riding it on the floor, and then slammed the boar-like creature on its stomach with a German suplex-like maneuver, breaking the animal's head and the Bulblin's ribs at the same time. Near that particular clone, another one was using his hold on the Bulbo's back legs before spinning around with enough force to create a small whirlwind and using the beast like a flail to hit the others trying to crush him, sending both Bulblins and their rides flying around. Your buddies are losing, fat ass. What will you do now? The original Naruto asked with a smirk while grabbing King Bulblin's lance barely under the tip and using it as leverage to throw the heavy creature off the King Bulbo and down on the floor, making pieces of the green-skinned creature fly around damaged. Gar! King Bulbo growled in hate as he prepared his war horn once again. You are a coward, a fat bastard that is unable to fight for himself and has to rely on the others to do his dirty work. How come you rule them if all you do is calling for backup? The young man asked with a sneer. Behind the blonde, King Bulbo discreetly lowered its head with narrowed eyes, slowly taking aim so to impale the shinobi in its powerful horns before stomping on him. Action that was not missed by the young toad sage, even without seeing the pleased smirk flashing on King Bulblin's face. Grah! With a mighty scream, the fat Bulblin king ran towards Naruto with his lance held high. At the same time, the giant Bulbo began its charge. Heh, I've had to deal with really fast people in the past, fat ass. Sorry, but you and that pig behind me simply can't compare with Kakashi. The Raikage or Killer Bee, try this with someone else. The blonde said before kicking King Bulblin on the chest, destroying the last pieces of his armor and making it double over in pain. Goa! King Bulbo squealed once few feet from the blonde's unprotected back. Oh, just shut up. The young man answered while rapidly turning back to deliver a devastating right hook to the side of the beast's head, knocking off several teeth and launching the fat creature several feet back and into unconsciousness. Now, what to do with you? Naruto muttered while grabbing King Bulbo's head with enough strength to have its helmet whine under the pressure. G-U-H-R. The green-skinned creature just growled tiredly with half-lidded eyes. T-Sage, why'd I gotta be a good guy? I can't kill you like this. The blonde said in dismay while throwing King Bulblin behind him and walking away. Yo, boss, we dealt with those idiots. Every single one of them won't hurt people for a long time. One of the clones said with a wide smile while pointing with his thumb at a huge mountain of mangled Bulblins that were moaning in agony thanks to the various bruises that were covering their bodies. Let them go this time, but be sure they understand that if I find some of them harassing people again, I won't have mercy. Naruto replied, Okay, we'll make sure that the message will stick. The clone replied cheerfully before joining his brothers. Behind you! Behind you! The voices of both Midna and Yadajimai resounded in the blonde's mind with deafening volume. Grah! Behind the young man, King Bulblin screamed in rage with the small blade of one of its followers held high above his head with the intention of beheading the blonde, shining in its madness-filled eyes. Sigh. At least I tried. If someone is watching, then please forgive me. Rasengan. Naruto muttered with a sigh before turning around with a watermelon-sized ball of spiraling chakra already forming in his hand. Both blade and jutsu met halfway before the small weapon got torn to pieces by the spiraling energy of the Rasengan that then proceeded to drill a perfectly spherical hole in King Bulblin's chest. The creature's blood momentarily shooting out of its back together with bones and organs all mixed into a fine mist before the wind carried everything away. Jigwa? King Bulblin muttered with wide eyes before slumping to the side dead, his empty gaze fixed on the shinobi in an everlasting mask of incredulity. Just because I choose not to kill you, it doesn't mean that I was not able to do it. I try to give you one last chance. You just choose to throw it back on my face. It's not just my fault if this happened. You brought this up to yourself. Naruto answered with a sad expression. That one was beyond redemption. Contrary to Sasuke, Zabuza, and the others, this creature was clearly too far beyond help. It won't have changed its view of things, nor it would have tried to be a better being. Console yourself with the fact that it had been a fast death compared to what he could have done had we not stopped him in Kakariko. You showed even too much mercy. Yadajimai answered while mentally patting his back in affection. They were about to run over the kids or even kidnap them. We both know that this was the only possible outcome. Don't put on yourself guilt that you shouldn't carry. Midna added, Thank you, girls. I appreciate it. The blonde answered with a tiny smile. Whenever you want. Big deal. I aim to please Back to Kakariko Town. The small group of kids were watching in apprehension towards the entrance of the small village for their friend to return. Rinnedu behind them, making sure no one could try to go out there watching and interfere. But he himself could not dare hoping to see the blonde return after watching all those creatures amassed to fight that single human. I can't leave you alone for a minute that you go and play hero, Colin. Seriously, am I such a bad influence? Naruto asked while calmly walking behind the group and startling every one of them for his sudden appearance. "Arg! Don't do this!" Beth screamed in rage. "Naruto, are you okay?" Colin asked, worried. "And you ask? What about you? Are you alright? Those bull boss went pretty close to crushing you." The blonde answered, No, I'm okay." "Beth, I'm sorry." The boy answered. "For what?" The girl asked. For shoving you." "Are you mad?" Colin asked while looking down. "No, you idiot. I should thank you for that instead." She answered with a small smile. Beth and Colin, sitting in a tree, KSSNOUCH. Naruto said with a sing-song voice before Beth's kick to his shin silenced him. Shut up." The blushing girl yelled in embarrassment. "Ha ha! Naruto, I think I finally understand," Colin said while looking at the young man with wonder-filled eyes. "What? I understand what my dad meant when he told me I needed to be stronger, like you, Naruto." The boy said, "Come on, don't say things like that. I am not a great example," Naruto said in discomfort while nervously scratching the back of his head. "You are instead." "My dad was not talking about simple strength, like lifting stuff. He was talking about being brave." Colin answered in determination. "There is being brave, and there is being foolish. I tend to be both, and sometimes only foolish. You shouldn't risk your life on a whim like that." The blonde man answered. "While I admit that fighting those monsters alone was a little foolish, I could also see the strength behind your eyes. You were not doing that because of an illusion of power, but because you knew you would have been able to win, and so conscious that it was up to you to defend the kids from them," Rinadu said while giving an encouraging squeeze to the young man's shoulder. "You fought them and won. That's why you are my hero. You can do anything. You can do something to help the Gorons in the mine too. Can't you, Naruto?" Colin said. "I was going in there before you had your moment of heroism." "Yes." The blonde admitted with a nod and a tiny smile. "I can't believe you, Colin. I mean, that was a really brave thing to do, especially since I thought you were. Tailo said. "A weakling? Remember this, Tailo. Never underestimate someone, because if you do, there will come a time where the weakling or the dead last will show you and everyone else what they can really be able to." Naruto answered with a proud smile. "Personal experience?" Yadajime asked, smirking. "Fuck yeah. I am awesome, and people finally learned that. If only I could rub it on the face of people like Mizuki and the others." He thought an answer. "Don't worry. I bet that your parents and the third Hokage have by now taught to those people how wrong they were." The huge vixen said, "Well, if you need me, I'll be kicking some Goron's ass. Don't go looking for trouble, and listen to Rinadu, okay?" The young man said, "Okay." The kids answered with an even too innocent smile. "Tsh, as if I will get fooled by those pests." Naruto muttered with a fake frown. Death Mountain, entranced to the Goron territory, once climbed his way back towards the rock-made people domain. Naruto found himself staring at a very worried guard. "Oh, you again? I see you recovered well," the blonde said with a happy smile. "Why, you were lucky last time. This time, I will be the one laughing," the worried Goron said with a slight edge to his voice. "Then show me. I challenge your strength for the right to pass," Naruto said while taking a sumo stance. "Oh, okay. Iarikome," the guard said before launching himself at the blonde in a spinning ball of rock. "Oh, I forgot to tell you. That's a clone," the real Naruto said from the wall above the Goron as the guard dispelled the clone and kept rolling away, too fast to stop himself before falling from the tall wall. "Damn you!" the Goron yelled in rage as he crashed down below and kept rolling down the road, unable to stop. No one said anything about using brain strength, the young man answered, shrugging. "More incoming," Yadajime said as a new Goron was already rolling towards the blonde at high speed. "Sigh. This is going to take a while," the young man said with a sigh. Meanwhile, base of Death Mountain. Two Goron guards were watching as one after another their fellow soldiers were launching themselves towards the only entrance of their dominion. Having been alerted by the first guard after his failed attempt at stopping the shinobi, had the security of the place being maxed out and hoped to stop any intruder from advancing. "Don't you think that we are overreacting? We are talking about a single human here," the first guard asked, curious as the noises of the battle between the various Gorons and the blonde man were reaching all the way back towards them. Crash. Thud. Rasengan. Boom. Stop that human. "I don't know, Bongoran." Gapparon seemed pretty beaten up when we found him. He kept whining about being left alone against blonde-haired monsters. The second guard answered with a shrug. "Come here." They heard the human yell in anger. "No. No, no. Another Gorin answered with a high-pitched voice. Come here, I said. The young man ordered with a loud growl followed by a Gorin shrieking in both surprise and fear. Wait, my arm doesn't bend that way. My arm doesn't bend that way. My arm doesn't bend that way. Crack, now it does. The same Gorin yelled in pain. That sounded painful. The first guard, Bongoran, muttered shivering. Yep. The other answered with a tiny nod. Oh, spirits, why you have forsaken us? The final guard screamed in agony. Raising Gan. Naruto's voice resounded clearly as the last remaining guard came flying out of the long corridor thanks to the powerful jutsu. The rock-made warrior finally ending his flying when slammed on the solid wall behind Bongoran and his friend. Do you think we should intervene? Bongoran asked uncertain while watching the defeated guard muttering incoherently in pain from the hole in the wall his landing had just created. Maybe we still have to save face, you know? We Gorin won't give a nice impression if we do not challenge our enemy heads up. There are times where I hate our being so prideful, and this is one of those times. Bongoran said with slumped shoulders. Listen, I just want to resolve whatever problem you people have that is forcing you to stop the people of Kakariko Village from using the mines. Now we can do this the easy way, with you people just letting me talk with your boss, and so resolve everything in a few minutes. Or you could be a bunch of idiots and charge me, but then know that I will carve my way towards the chief of this place by blowing your collective asses to dust. Naruto said once finally reached the base of the mountain. In the complete silence that followed that statement, no one paid attention to the massive rock that went shoot out from the volcano and that crashed on the ground with a deafening explosion behind the blonde. Thing in itself, impressive since the rock was as big as a small house and caused the floor to rattle for a few minutes. And yet everyone's eyes were fixed on the blonde human, making that astounding and quite bold statement abound, he alone challenging every Gorin present in there just to speak to their boss. Grab him. A lone Gorin yelled from far away to the side, prompting every guard present to rush the blonde shinobi. Oh. That's it, eh? I am so gonna make you regret choosing the hard way then, Naruto said with narrowed eyes while cracking his neck. Be gentle. They're only trying to do their job. Mina said, and I am doing mine. It's not my fault that we have opposite goals. The blonde said while running towards the dozen or so Gorins charging him. Small chamber within the mountain chief room. In the wide room, on the faraway wall opposite to the entrance, stood a raised platform with a small throne. On said throne was sitting an ancient-looking Gorin with silver-white hair and various wrinkles marking even his rock-like skin. The two guards standing at the old Gorin sides grimacing a little at the crashing noises coming from outside together with the muffled screams of their brethren. Intruders are attacking us. We should have destroyed the village. One of the guards said with a growl. Don't said such foolish things. We are not savages. If those people are coming here, then we will test their will and then listen what they want to tell us. Only then we will decide what to do. The Gorin elder answered with a calm and yet firm tone. It must be about using our minds once again, Elder Gor Koron. The second guard said, if that's the case, then we will once again tell them that entrance is forbidden. They will have no other choice than accept. The elder answered. In that moment, the door of the chamber was kicked open with enough force to tear the towering thing from its hinges and slam on the floor. What appeared once the small cloud of dust settled was the scowling Naruto, dragging a Gorin guard behind him before tossing him to the side, and then glare at Gor Koron with narrowed eyes. I'm looking for the boss of those guys. Is that you? The young man asked while ignoring the indignation on the faces of the other guards present. Are you alone? Human? The elder asked. Yes, is that a problem? Yes, it is for me. Is this young one such an imposing enemy that you all had to gang up against him? I think not. Little brothers. Gor Koron answered before addressing the other Gorins present. He actually massacred 3 whole squads out there. Just saying. The guard that had been dragged inside answered with a slur before finally losing consciousness. Oh, that's impressive. The elder admitted with a nod. Thanks, old man. But who are you? I'm a Gorin elder, little human. I am called Gor Koron. Naruto Link, nice to make your acquaintance. The blonde replied with a bow. Likewise, because of certain circumstances, I must lead the Gorin tribe in place of Darbus, our tribal patriarch. Tell me, little human, do you come from the village below? The elder asked. Yes, your circumstances are creating a lot of problems to Kakariko and its people, and I have been asked to resolve them as fast as possible. Naruto answered, nodding. I see. You have done well to come this far. You are strong. For a human. Koran said with a grunt. Yes, I hear that a lot. However, the mines beyond here are sacred to my tribe. Outsiders are not allowed. Unless, the old Goran said with narrowed eyes. Let me guess. I need to defeat you in a sumo match? The blonde answered, groaning. Very perceptive. Yes, I could make an exception, but you would have to beat me in a contest of power. Are you willing to try that, little human? Koran asked, smirking. We are on a tight schedule with a madman planning to conquer the world. And those people want to waste time to have a sumo contest. Really? Really? Unbelievable. Yadajimai moaned in disbelief. If I have no other choice, really, this is getting ridiculous. All this just to enter a mountain? Why everything has to be so damn complicated? Naruto answered, groaning in dismay at the idiocy of it all. Under the watchful gaze of every Goran present, the two moved on the small ring in the middle of the room, the annoyed blonde ignoring the boos of the ones watching as he stepped on his side. It will be a fast match, the first to fall lose. Koran said before slamming his feet down hard, making the room shake a little. Care to answer in kind to this buffoon? Yadajimai asked. Fine. Naruto muttered while subtly channeling chakra on his feet before stomping down. The result was a slam that managed to drive the whole ring several inches underground and send deep cracks from the impact point all the way to the ceiling, making a little dust fall from above them and seemingly lifting the ones watching, and the elder Goran an inch from the ground in a small jump. Damn, one of the guards muttered with raised eyebrows. Oh, was all the comment Koran could do as the blonde moved forward to push the elder. Ugh, you sure know how to push, the elder said while shoving the human away to try and push back. TCH. Thanks, Gigi. Naruto answered, smirking, moving to the side and grabbing the old Goran's face to throw him back a little. What did you call me? My people's way to say grandpa. The blonde answered as he got grabbed by the elder. I'm not that old. Koran growled while trying to push him back. If you say so, Naruto replied, breaking free and giving to the old Goran the last push to launch him out of the ring. Gah! HN. Young warrior, you have a strong will and sharp eyes. And actually weight more than what you look like, the elder said as he stumbled on his feet. You are not bad either, Gigi. Naruto replied, grinning. Don't call me grandpa, you insolent youngster. The elder yelled in anger. Whatever. Can I know why you've forbidden everyone from Kakariko to come here now? The shinobi asked. Fine, you have seen it, I would bet. The mountain is erupting without pause. The old Goran answered. Yep, what about it? It all happened not long ago, when the mountain began to rage. All four of us elders and Darbus, our patriarch, went inside to investigate its anger. We have a treasure that was entrusted to us by the spirits, and we must protect it. Do you understand? Yeah, I know about that. You people are guarding a piece of the fused shadow, and I bet one of you had the brilliant idea of touching it, getting corrupted by it as a result. Naruto answered. How do you hack? Yes, that's exactly what happened. The moment Darbus reached out and touched the treasure, everything went wrong. What happened? As you say, he got corrupted, he collapsed, and before our very eyes transformed into an unspeakable monster. He began to rage through the mines, trailing ruin behind him, and the eruptions grew more frequent and more severe, as if following his madness. We used all our strength to seal him deep inside the mountain. And, wait! You sealed him down there instead of helping him? Naruto asked with an incredulous expression. Yes, No. I don't want to hear excuses. If you don't want to help him, then I will. Let me enter, and I will bring your patriarch back sparkling new. The young man said, growling. It grieved us to do this. He was our patriarch, but we had no other course of action. The elder yelled angrily. Really? You're not convincing me. Listen, I'm asking this favor of you, young warrior. Go to the aid of Darbus. Make no mistake, the spirits have guided you here. Koran said. More likely, the spirits begged us to fix this mess since their hero was dead. Midna muttered. Yep, I say we ask for a double S-class payment for all the crap we are going through for this. Yadajimai added. Not now, girls. Naruto mentally pleaded. I ask for your help. On behalf of my entire clan, please aid us in this moment of need. The elder asked. Okay, okay. No need to worry, I'll take care of this. The young man answered. Good. Let the young warrior pass. Gorkoron said before ordering the two guards to step aside, showing an opening on the wall. Be careful. The mines are full of traps, all placed to protect the treasure from the thieves. And worse than traps, since the eruptions began, foul creatures of all shapes have settled into every corner of the mines. Getting to the Patriarch's location will not be easy. I would prepare your spirit if I were you, young warrior. The elder said, Oh joy! I can't wait to risk my life in an overly complicated dungeon. Naruto said with heavy sarcasm as he entered the cave. Was it a good idea, Elder Gorkoron? One of the guards asked. We have no other choice than to trust him. I just hope he will show restraint and not boom. The elder answered before the first of a long series of explosions shocked the mountain. Ha! This is not the way I imagine my retirement. Gorkoron muttered with a sigh of dismay. Omake, Jiraiya Hylian Misadventure 2. The toad Sannin was carefully scanning everywhere, up and down, far and wide through all Hyrule in search of news about his escaped former student. But ever since his arrival in the foreign lands far away from the elemental countries, he had to suppress his more animal instinct with the reasoning that he would have all the time to do his research. Peeping once found Naruto. But now the horrible truth had become so huge the old spy master could no longer ignore it. There was not a single bathhouse in all Hyrule. Nothing. Nothing even just resembling the barest idea of a bathhouse. And even if part of him was conscious that it was something he should have expected when dealing with a different culture, the cold truth he had been forced to face had still took a heavy toll on him all the same. I can do this. I can put my research aside and focus only on finding Naruto. I can do this. It's only a matter of willpower. AOA Award. I need tits, and I need them now. Jiraiya yelled in agony after a long silence. Then it happened. At the beginning, it was just a feeble noise. But once the spy master focused his senses, he could hear that it was the noise of splashing water, followed by the greatest sound his ears had ever captured. The giggling of young girls, splashing waters plus giggling of a young voice. It can only mean that a group of girls is bathing. Jiraiya said with sparkling eyes, while already sending a heartfelt thank you prayer to whatever deity heard his plea. It was just his luck that Hyrule was being guarded by 3 female deities that were also becoming very fond of the same blonde the old man was looking for, doubling the troubles Jiraiya was fated to face as long as he decided to stay on their territory. Throwing himself down the toad, Sannin slowly made his way towards the celestial voices of what he could tell were at least 6 girls taking a bath, hopefully naked, in what must have been a natural spring. Closer. Just a little closer. He muttered while hiding behind a tall rock and preparing his ever-trusty block notes to capture the glorious spectacle that was awaiting him. I'll start with a detailed description of the girls and their naked bodies. Then I may add some games they were playing with each other before the hero walked in. Maybe I should have the girl's boss tie him up and make him pay for peeping. Yeah, have the girls punish him before having all of them fall in love with him thanks to his manly presence and his innocent/pure heart. Some other hardships to appease the drama lovers before a final orgy, and I think sexy harem finale in 6 should be good in this case. Yeah, definitely gonna use the in 6-1, it's a classic, Jiraiya muttered while thinking about the base of the new issue of his legendary Ika books. I think Hot for Hylian should be a good title. The Toad Sage said with a wide smirk, so engrossed by his plans to not notice how the rock he was using as hiding spot had gained arms, legs, and a deeply scowling face that was now glaring holes in the shinobi's head. What about walking away and never again trying to peep on our women? The tall, muscular, and most of all huge Goron said with a snarl as his 5 brothers, also very tall and very jealous, joined the scene to surround Jiraiya. You must be the Gorons I heard talking about. The Toad Sage said while straining his neck a little to look up high enough to meet the Goron's eyes. Yes, dirty human. And we don't like when someone outside of the Goron tribe tries to spy on our women. Another Goron said, yes, the females of our tribe can't be spoiled by the filthy eyes of humans. A third one added with an angry growl, you have no proofs that I was about to peep on them. Jiraiya said with his best offended expression, you were sitting on my foot when muttering about writing a book called Hot for Hylian, and the orgies in it talking about our women. The first Goron said angrily, you were that rock then. the spy master said in realization. Yes, very well then. Bye. The shinobi said before moving from zero to blurring fast in a matter of seconds as he ran away. Grab him, the first Gorin said as he and the other 5 curled into giant boulders to sprint behind the pervert, the women in the spring too soon following, angered that someone dared interrupt their small vacation for dirty purposes. You can't catch me, because I am Jiraiya, the super pervisa. While the widely smirking Sanine was sprinting away, out of the blue and in deep contrast to the absolute lack of even the smallest cloud, 3 streams of lightning fell on him, at the same time zapping him. Leaving the charged shinobi fell on the ground, groaning in pain, and easy prey for the furious Gorin group. And even if sounding quite possessive, the male part of the small mob was more than happy to let the women have the first bite on the old man, watching in pride as they moved through a throughout beating before the men too joined in punishing the alleged super pervert. Up in heaven, with the 3 goddesses, serves the pervert well. That was the last thing we needed. Someone proud to peep on women, Din said with narrowed eyes while adding to the wall behind her a picture of Jiraiya with wanted written under it. He is also on a mission to kidnap our hero. We must keep him under close watch and stop any attempt. Farer added with a sneer. My hero, you mean? The goddess of power said. Now is not the time for that. We will need to at least stop that man from interfering. We can't risk to lose our only hope to stop the Twilight, because in a backwater country, they finally understood what they are missing. He is part of Hyrule now. He is under our direct protection. The goddess of courage answered. I am with you in that. I will personally curse that idiot if he tries anything. Din said, nodding. Are you with us, Sister Naru? Farer asked to the empty side of the room. Oh, yees. More hero Namikaze. Pound my backside until it breaks. It belongs only to you. The image of the goddess of wisdom, back into a human body, yelled in delight as the blonde shinobi was forced to go faster while pleasuring her in her back door. Oh, for fuck's sake. Farer roared in anger while moving to recover and restrain the wayward goddess and take her back to heaven. And they say that I am the perverted one. Din muttered while joining Farer in recovering Naru. The curious thing was that Naruto still couldn't understand who were those 3 women that liked to sometime pop up and have their way with him. Not that he minded, but he could not explain how they could appear out of thin air, undress him, and then disappear once done without trace. That in both Midna and Yadajimai were getting more paranoid after each failed attempt at keeping them away, actually scaring the blonde a lot with their low muttering about the kind of punishment the 2 would inflict on those 3 mysterious women should they manage to catch them. That's it for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out author of this story. Thanks for watching. Take care.